here we are again, cup of tea in hand. It's that time of the week to decide what shall we make today. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. So let's have a look and see. Right, well I think today we'll make a Christmas card. I've not made very many Christmas cards yet this season, which is quite unusual. I've already normally started making a few more than have been obvious up until now. So let's put that right this morning and let's make ourselves a Christmas card and a little bit of a fancy fold type Christmas card. So I'm going to use some of these beautiful Feels Like Frost paper. Now we had these Feels Like Frost papers last year. They've brought them back as as something that we loved. And boy did we love them. They're the papers that have got all the beautiful silver foiling on one side and all these photographic images on the other, and they are just gorgeous. A 6x6 paper, and I'm going to use this one just here with this sort of frosty morning feel to it. So let me just pop the others safely away for now. We'll come back to those if we want to. And I've got a piece of Seaside Spray cardstock there to go with it. And I've got the Dove of Hope stamp set. Now I've not used this stamp set yet, so there's a good reason to get it out to play with this morning. And somewhere there are some dies that go with it. The detailed Dove dies. Now either you've got the dies that will cut out your images from here, or else you've got these beautiful detailed dies. Look at this gorgeous dove here and these beautiful wings, just stunning. They're beautiful. It is a really lovely set. So we might well dig into those later. Who knows? We will see. But let us start. And I've also got stitched rectangles and the ornate frames out here as well, and a little piece of silver foil. Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? Let's see where that all takes us. I'm going to start with this piece of A4 card, and I am going to cut it at 14 point. I'll actually cut it at 14.8. Just because I can. No, not really just because I can. There is some method in my madness. Let's put that little bit of cardstock to one side. We might need that later. I'm now going to turn this round, open up my trimmer all the way, because I want to cut this so that it is 29.6, I think, is going to be literally cutting just a slither off the end of that. Just like that. Now, 29.6, if we halve it, is 14.8, funny enough. Now, if you halve 14.8 again, you get 7.4. Why would we want to do that? Because we want to make a gatefold card. So I am going to score this at 7.4 on this side. I'm going to swing it all the way around and I'm going to score it at 7.4. Apologies for the wobble on this side. And then, if my measurements have been correct, I should be able to fold that over like that so that those 2 points meet up, butt it against the top, and then using my bone folder, ease those score lines in place, and we have a beautiful square 14.8 centimetre square card base. Fabulous stuff. So let's take our piece of designer series paper that we've got just here, and I'm going to cut this to 14.4. I think I'm going to chop that off the top and hang on to the majority of the foliage and things there. And then we know that this is 7.4 wide, so I'm going to cut these. In fact, let's make it easy. Let's just make it 7. We'll make 2 of these at 7 centimetres. They will sit then in the front of our card. Get it the right way and we'll make sense of it, won't we? Like that. Jigsaws were never my strong point. So those are going to sit on the front like that, and then it will open up as our gatefold. Let's stick those in place, then we won't lose them. The reverse of this paper is just beautiful with this foiling on. So you could easily have done a white and silver foiled version. It just is beautiful, beautiful paper. Well worth a second term in the catalogue, in the August to December mini catalogue. There we are. We could almost leave it like that, couldn't we? We could almost say, what a gorgeous card. Let's leave it like that. Just put a greeting on it. Fabulous. Okay, but we're not going to leave it like that. We're going to do a bit more. Excuse me. Bit of a tickle. Now what I've got here is I've got one of the ornate frames, and I've got a stitched rectangle that's going to sit in front of it, because I'm literally going to cut a frame out of that. So let's do that. We'll run that through our machine. I'll obviously line them up a little bit better once I've got them sitting on the bed of the machine, and also make it a little bit more so that it's not slap bang in the middle of that piece of card. I'm not don't want to waste all that silver foil card. Just wiggling around, lining up that centre rectangle so it's looking fairly even. Run that through backwards and forwards a couple of times, and then I will have a look and see if we need to turn it over and run it through again. Let's have a little look. We can certainly take that away. I think I'm going to run this piece through again. Can you see where it's not cut around the edges there? So I'm just going to flip the entire thing round so it's running through with the card stock uppermost, and I've turned it round on my plate as well, so it's going through at a different angle, so it will hit different spots on my machine, and you can see the difference that has made. So let us pop our frame out, ease this centre panel out. So the lovely thing about these stitched rectangles is they stitch the piece they leave as well as the piece that's here. So I now have a nice stitched rectangle piece of silver foil that I'm not actually going to use at the minute, but is beautiful for another card somewhere along the line. We just want this piece here. Ooh. Now I was going to say I'm going to grab my brush, but my brush seems to have gone AWOL for some reason. I've got another one somewhere. Let's see if we can find that. It's obviously left the building. My pickup tool has left the building. I've no doubt wandered off somewhere else with it. We've not got a brush on this one. Ah, that's frustrating. Never mind. Let's just poke these bits out. If I'd have got my brush, I'd have brushed them out. But where there's a will, there's a way, as the saying goes. That will have to be my next job. Hunt down errant brush. They've rolled off the table and gone behind some drawers or something. Won't be far away. As far as I know, it's not actually sprouted legs and walked. And round here, these little intricate dies, they do take a bit of love and care to make sure you've got all the bits out of them. But boy, once you've done that, aren't they stunning? Well worth the effort. Just beautiful. Right, let's gather up all these little bits here. And we'll just move those to one side. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stitched rectangle and I'm going to cut a stitched rectangle from some Seaside spray. I've just noticed that my big scissors aren't there either. It's a little bit like hey diddle diddle, the dish ran away with the spoon. It's obviously a case of the brush ran away with the scissors. That would suggest them in the same place somewhere. So I've die cut another stitched rectangle, but this time from Seaside spray, and that's going to be the centre of that panel just there. Lovely, lovely. So let's take this piece, because this is our piece that we're now going to be stamping onto. And this is where we're going to bring in our Dove of Hope. Now, if you've never had any of our stamp sets before, they just pop out like this, and then you've got these stickers. You peel the back off the sticker like this. You'll find that on one side each of those images has got a split in the middle, and we're going to take the back off our stamp and stick that to that, and there we have our stamp. I think we're going to want this branch as well, so let's take that. These are gorgeous for Christmas, but they're definitely not just for Christmas. And I'm thinking we might go with the bauble as well. If you can hear the wind howling, apologies, it's been very gusty here. Storm Francis. I know that we don't get anything like the impact of them do elsewhere in the world, but it's enough. Let's have that little snowflake as well. We may not use it, but we may. We'll wait and decide on a greeting. There we are. So we now have our beautiful cling stamps ready to go. So we've got a couple more to put backs on, but that's fine. Now I'm thinking I'd like that dove to come on here if possible, and this branch possibly coming across. Perhaps we'll have a bauble hanging there as well. Let's have a look. And I'm thinking I'm going to stamp these in Versamark, and we'll put some silver embossing on them to keep going that sort of white, silver, blue vibe. Let's get put an embossing buddy on there, and we'll have this leaf coming down from the top. Just going to sprinkle embossing powder on there so we can see where it is. Let's have this bauble coming down here, and again we'll sprinkle embossing powder over it. And perhaps we'll just take our little snowflake and just add some of those in the background. A flick. Okay, so we've flicked all those on. Let's get our heat gun out and heat them up. Beautiful shiny embossing there in our background. Now I'm going to take the dove and I'm going to take a little bit of Whisper White card. Again, I'm going to heat emboss him or her or whatever. You take your pick. Pop the lid on our embossing powder for now. Beautiful and shiny. Let's find our detailed dove dies, because that's not easy to say, is it? We do have the die here that's going to cut that dove out for us. So let's run that through the machine. Now, I actually need that dove to sit on within the confines of that rectangle, if you like. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to snip off the little foliage that's in his beak, and I'm going to cut some out of silver foil, and I'll give him some back. But with it being die cut from the silver foil, I'll be able to better position where it's going to go. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my the Seaside Spray dauber and some Seaside Spray ink. Ooh. Don't know my own strength, or haven't got any strength, I think is more the case. I'm just going to come around the edge of this dove with just a little bit of Seaside Spray ink, just to take away a little bit of that stark whiteness. I don't want it to be sort of completely blue. I just want a bit of a hint of the blue coming in around there, just so that it sits a little less starkly on that background. And then I think with this one, I'm going to trim it a little bit. I'm going to take off these leaves here. So that we can position that a bit better. Okay, let me build up that little dove on there. I'm going to take some dimensionals for the dove itself. need it to be sitting within that rectangle, about like that, I think. So it needs to be true of this. I think I'm going to have it so it has to be at that sort of angle. Now let's take some glue. And we'll put some little spots of glue, hopefully, on this end. Come along, little glue. You know what's going to happen. Yep, it's going to splurge. We didn't want you to splurge. Tuck that under there and stick that to the front of our dove like that. Let's bring back in our card base. Just move some of these little bits out of the way so we can see what we're doing. Bring back in our card base, and what we're going to have is our frame and our dove on the front there. But what we need is for our frame to be stuck to this side of the card and our inner panel to be stuck to this side of the card. So I think the first thing we'll do is get our outer frame on. So if we line that up so that the tips of this frame, top and bottom, are in line with the gatefold, we should be about right. So what we know is that we want glue sort of from here round to here. So this side where my thumb is, from here, up here, and round there. So let's again line that top and bottom up with where the gatefold splits, and let's stick that in place. Now for our panel, as I say, we want that to be stuck this side. So I think the easiest thing to do is going to be to keep that shut, take some glue, and we'll put some glue in the centre of that panel piece just there, where we know we want it to stick. So let's reinsert our panel. In there, press down, and then hopefully what should happen is that they will come apart like this, and we'll go back together like this. So you can see now why I needed my dove to be completely within that framework, because we needed to not be sticking out the side of that frame, because he would catch going backwards and forwards. So I think all we need now is some final titivation and a greeting. Now, greetings on here, we've either got this big greeting that says, "May your season be filled with all the wonder and blessings of Christmas, and hope in your heart." you've got peace on earth, or you've got peace, joy and love just there. So I think that lovely big greeting would be really nice inside our card. So let's find that. Stick that on there. I think it's going to need to be the peace, joy and love, but we may split them. So let's have that stamp. Tuck that inside there for now. So let's open this up. Let's find a nice block for our inside greeting. I'm going to put my embossing buddy over there. Let's grab our Versamark, ink that all up. And stamp that in the middle there. I'm also going to take some snowflakes and scatter some of those around. So let's go back to our silver embossing powder. And let's scatter that on the inside here. Tip it off. I think I'm going to go in with another snowflake there and another one just there. Now we can see where everything is. So let's heat emboss that. May your season be filled with all the wonder and blessings of Christmas. And 2 more snowflakes. Oh, we missed a bit there. That's better. Get my thumb around the beautiful. Let's shut that up again now. And let's take that longer greeting, she says. What have I done with that? When you've just put, there it is, when you've just put the sticky on the back. They do tend to be very sticky and stick to things that you don't want them to. So we have peace, joy and love here. We all need plenty of that. Let's stamp that, and let's again heat emboss that with silver. It's a lovely font. There it goes. Voila. Now comes the decision whether we put it on whole or whether we cut them up. Let's trim it. Sorry, apologies, reaching for my mini trimmer and knock you all flying. Let's trim this. Let's bring it around this way. Now we could just about have it peeking under there. Or we could break those words up. I think I'm going to break them up. So I'm going to take my snips, just snip that side of that dot, that side of that dot, that side of that dot, that side of that dot. Let's bring back in, where's that little piece of silver foil we've got? I bet we've got enough there just to give each of these a bit of a silver foil backing. So it just needs to be quite a narrow little piece. Let's cut that piece. Like that. We'll have some joy. And of course we'll have some love. And I think those little pieces we'll pop some dimensionals under. And we'll have some peace up there. We'll have Some joy just there. And where's the love? It's here. And we'll have some love down there. And then I think classic, but always a go-to. Let's find, oh no, that's not what I want. Let's find some rhinestones. We'll have one on there, on the top of the bauble. And we'll have a few just scattered around. So there we have our gatefold card. And those two sections come together to form that panel on the front. Lots of silver embossing and bling. A nice frosty Christmas card. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that and that you'll come back to see what we're going to make next week. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.